Well, hello, hey friends. What's good? Welcome to Storytime. So, today I'm in a whole different area of the home. I've got this bedroom I'm going to utilize today because the light out there is absolutely nuts. It's just glare after glare after glare. But the only problem within here is that this is where flies like to hang out. We have an influx of flies. And there's a neighbor right now that has one of those tennis racket fly killers. That thing goes off like all day. It's just killing flies. But yeah, we live in a really very humid spot, and for some reason, it just seems like there's quite a few right now. But they're not a big deal. I leave my doors open, and by the end of the night, usually there's nothing left in here. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, so anyway, welcome to my channel. My name is Shannon Braybrook, and I tell stories that are usually irrelevant, sometimes nostalgic. And I'm going to switch it up today a little bit because I want to tell a few stories. So I wrote it down on a little piece of a paper towel because I thought maybe today I would change up how I do things, not just my environment, but how I'm telling my stories because I have a lot of stories that I it's almost like having oh, and by the way, this is a one-time deal. I don't edit any of this, so you're going to hear dogs bark, people drive by. I might yell because Sadie does not know how to not bark. That all she does is bark. Very good guard dog, but absolutely annoying at the same time. Anyways, yeah, shush. So, yeah, it's a one take deal, and good luck. Good luck sitting through the whole thing. Most of my videos are about 10, 15 minutes long. I try not to go too long because people's attention spans are the same as mine, very short sometimes, and you just want to see something and, listen, laugh, have fun with it, and then be done. This is Tuck. This is our old Frenchie. Oh, he's so drooly. Ugh. Oh, yuck. I wish I never touched him. He is he's 12 years old and he's getting old, but he's got a lot of spunk. He's very crazy. We just went for a huge walk, and both of these dogs, they get fed. If you've seen some videos of how I feed my dogs, I always make their food. I've been making it for 6 years. They get, beef liver, tripe, goat's milk, and all that good stuff, and I cook it, and I'm always serving up little scoops of food throughout the day because I noticed with Tuck he was starting to have low blood sugar at certain times of the day. So now I just give them, a teaspoon and a half or whatever, quite a bit, like all throughout the day. But today I noticed when we were on our walk and we were going through the campsite, Tuck found a cache, I'd like to call it, of somebody's thrown away food. So there was like hard-boiled eggs, salad. I didn't know what he was into, but he comes up and he's got all this food on his face. So I said, no, no, I take such good care of you that you're not getting anything now until at least, 12:30. So I'm putting my foot down. If you guys see me get up to feed the dogs, tell me to sit back down. Don't feed the dogs until 12:30. Yeah, because I spoil them so much. And then they go and do that. They go and eat some garbage. Like, ugh. Anyways. And yeah, Sadie found a bone, so she ate that while she was out there. Anyway, I love my dogs. Love my dogs. And you'll see them in here. If I can do these videos in my room, this is way more comfy. Takes a little logistically moving stuff around, but yeah, it's good lighting compared to over there. So anyway, I got a story to tell about yesterday. So about a week and a half ago, I ran into a bear on my walk. So normally I do 5K, 2.5K there, 2.5K back. Most of my walk, well, let's say half of it is to the residential zone. The other half is in the middle of nowhere. So there's only cars coming by every once in a while. You don't want to be stuck between the residential and the middle of nowhere and run into a bear. But yesterday, for some crazy reason, I felt comfortable enough. I still haven't got my bear whistle. Don't have anything ready yet. But I was like, ah, heck, it's the middle of the day. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's too hot for the bear. Why would he be sitting out here? What would he be doing in this heat? He'd be out like just sitting in the forest. Well, cut to this part. There's this cute guy that drives down into this region, and he drives a truck that takes care of a service here in our park, and he's just a cute guy. And every time I see him, I'm like a wave, and he waves, and I don't know how old he is. I don't know if he's married or any of that. I just know he's a cute guy. So I go to wave, and I'm all happy. And yesterday he was coming by, I was all excited and happy to see him because I wanted to wave. He hit a bump. It was so loud. The truck just made this booming loud noise. All of a sudden, to the left of me, I'm on my way home right now. To the left of me is the bear. So the bear gets startled from the guy in the truck who I'm waving at, very happily waving. Turn my head, freak myself out because I'm like, I'm still, 150 feet from the residential area, and the bear would be right there. I I beelined it. Like you can't run with bears. You're supposed to walk. So I just walked very, very quickly again. But yeah, that's time number two that I've run into the bear. And I said, okay, I'm not going to push my luck anymore. I'm actually going to avoid doing that every time now because I don't want to press my luck. I don't want to run into the bear. I know right now they're just feeding and they're young and they're just kind of sitting around and they're like do do do. That bear is 10 times bigger than the biggest dog I know, and his claws are huge. I am not messing with a bear. I don't care what he's up to. So, anyway, it really got me thinking that I've got to readjust my entire exercise routine now. And as I was coming around the corner, of course, I see this woman, blonde, cute, got her headphones in, running, and I'm thinking, first of all, that's silly. We've got a lot of, there's some crazies, but anyway. I told her to take her headphones out. I said, "There's a bear around the corner. You might want to avoid, like, take your headphones out at least and maybe walk, run on the other side of the road, or don't even go." She's like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." So it's a serious thing here that we have bears. They just walk around. And we have raccoons. They come through the yard. They actually are ballsy enough to attack dogs here. They attack the chickens. It's kind of crazy, but it's also beautiful. I mean, bears, we got vultures, we got eagles, got the big gray, great gray heron. Um, it's like heaven on earth. It's absolutely gorgeous, but kind of scary at the same time. So I have to be more careful. I have to be more careful. So I had this. I've got this little list of stories. So I want to tell you guys about something that my mom and I were getting into, and my neighbor and I are about talking about the inevitable and when we pass and what kind of things we can do to make our lives, make our families' lives a lot easier. Now, when Dave passed away, we had a fairly straightforward um, system because we decided as a family that this is what we were going to do. We were going to celebrate his life a year later. He would be cremated and all of that stuff, and it was very easy. It was very simple. And but sometimes it's not simple because people have assets, they have lots of family, they have people that argue. So I decided that I'm going to get all of that stuff set in place for when the time happens and I need to, take care of I want to take care of that stuff so that my kids and my family don't have to worry about it. So, having a proper will, setting aside, like I'd like to be buried, so I'd like to set aside a plot, and do all of those things. Maybe have some insurance. My mom was telling me in the States they have like an insurance for burial where you can have you pay into it, and then at the end of life, this insurance gets sent out to your beneficiaries. So I'm going to look into that as well in Canada because I do want to be prepared. And after it's been 2 years since Dave passed, and I realized that some people that pass, they are still, 2 years later, still going through the whole the mess that's made at the end if assets aren't taken into consideration and beneficiaries are fighting and all that stuff. So I don't know. I think we owe it to our families to maybe not leave them in that kind of a mess. So that's one thing I'm doing this week, and I've been doing lots of research, and it's been really cool talking to people of different ages, in their 50s, 60s, 70s. What are you doing to prepare for the inevitable? Because, yeah, we're not getting out alive. And so, yeah, on that note, I got this cool story. Back when I think was about 8 or 9 years old, we were living in 100 Mile House. And when you live in a small town, especially back in the 70s and 80s, we had some really cool things that they don't have anymore. That just, they don't exist anymore. And if you watch nostalgia on YouTube, your heart just breaks because you're like, man, remember when we had that and we had this and how much sense it made to have those things. So one thing we did have that I absolutely miss, and I think they still make it, but it's not the same, is Pop Shop Pop. So Canadian people know about Pop Shop Pop. You used to go to a corner store or wherever in your, I think ours was in a mail. like a Greyhound bus depot or a mailbox place. I can't even remember now. It's been so long. But you'd go into the shop and you'd get the big crate, and I think it held 12 Pop Shop pops. And they're in a glass, and they had the red, nostalgic red labeling. And you had flavors that were just off the chain, like lemon lime and cream soda. And these flavors, like orange crush, grape, they had the most flavor of any pop I've ever had. They kept their fizz. They had a metal top, so you'd had to use a can opener. But you'd walk in, and as a family, it was really cool because a family of four, we could each have three flavors, or yeah, three of our own. So you could pick your own three flavors. So mine was always like cream soda, root beer. I like the flavors that had like a creamy flavor. And there was another one. It was cherry, I think. But I think my brother liked grape and orange, and some people just go for those flavors, those fruity flavors. But I remember, and then if you return the whole thing, the whole box or crate, you got all that money back. So you'd pay your deposit. It was a lot of money back then. I think it was like $1.65 for the whole crate, and you'd take it back with all those bottles, and they'd recycle and clean them and do all the stuff they do, and then you'd grab another batch. So does anybody else have Pop Shop in their town still? Or is it, I'm pretty sure I've seen it on the shelf of stores, but I don't know, maybe I'll have to do a search, a deep dive to see if there's Pop Shop still around. The other thing that I really want to find, and they were prevalent in the 80s, was um, Japanese slippers. So they were called Japanese slippers. They looked like a ballet shoe, and they were closed-toed. They had a little tiny sole, and they had a little strap. You could buy all the different colors. Usually people just bought them black with a clear sole. I want those so bad, but my feet are massive, like size 12. So if anybody anywhere knows where I can get authentic looking Japanese slippers from the 80s, I mean, I could Google it, obviously. They're as rare now as jelly shoes. Like jelly shoes, I think you can still buy them, but jelly shoes were like 10 million times better than Crocs, but they were made of jelly, like one form, and then you just slip your foot into it. They had laces on some of them. They were just wild. But yeah, I'm looking for some Japanese slippers because nowadays I think you might even be able to find them with embroidery on the front. I love those. They're such a simple shoe, and I miss that. I really do. And I've got one more thing I wanted to talk about. I'm We're all aging, and like at 56 years old, I feel 30. My body's in a different place than it ever was back in my 30s because I was very sick. I've had five tumors over the course of 12 years until I was 47 years old. So from 47 to now, all I've done is focus on health. So I lost 100 pounds. I started bodybuilding. I'm still considering doing the bodybuilding physique stuff. I want to wait till next year when I've really got my macros under control and my program is really, tweaked really well. But one thing that's funny as I get to this age is my musical taste hasn't really changed, and I am still in love with rap. I cannot stop loving rap. And thank God that there is good Christian rap now because I'm a big Tupac fan. I love the Beastie Boys. I loved Everlast. I loved all of the stuff that went really hard and had some big messages in it, but was so fun. Like, I just love fun rap and I love hip hop. So I'm really happy to know that a lot of the guys that I follow on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, they're cognizant of the fact that maybe lots of swearing and a ton of violent talk and all that's kind of it's gone. It's cliche, it's old. Nobody wants to hear that anymore. So I'm really happy to know that over all these years like the music is evolving and I love it so much. I adore some of my favorite artists now are doing Christian hip hop and rap, but I've also been introduced to brand new stuff. And then the old guys that I'm listening to, the OGs, they're bringing back that soul and funk, and oh, it's so fun. And it doesn't matter how old you are. Listen to whatever you want. Because, I mean, just a minute ago, I had gospel in the background just going. Then I put on instrumental if I'm reading my Bible. If I'm outside in the garden, I like to listen to like my guys like Jack Gaspard and Moccasin Creek and Beats by Dunbar. and I listened to a whole bunch of like Tone Chop and Frost Gamble and Deacon Blue and Papa Fresh. These guys make really fun music, and I love shouting them out every day when I'm on my Instagram. Charlie Carbone, another incredible Christian rapper, architect. They're so good, and I'm really, really sitting with this idea that I might want to do a reaction channel, but I got to figure out on this computer how I can put the OBS system in and do it correctly with the green screen and all that stuff. And everybody knows that my Wi-Fi is like this, and so I kind of just go with the flow. I have to. But on that note, that was a whole bunch of stuff and a bunch of stories. And I might go with this kind of format because there's a lot to talk about. And I mean, maybe it's not always nostalgic. Oh, the sun went down or something. The lighting just changed. But that's okay because we're at the end. So I'm so glad you guys were here with me. And I hope you guys have a blessed day. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. And yeah, I appreciate every one of my 74 followers. I love that you guys are hanging out with me. And yes, I want to keep this a regular thing now. I think we're getting into August. It's time to start talking about new stuff and maybe do a couple of episodes outside. The weather's still really hot, but and it's probably going to get hotter for a little bit. But anyway, I hope you guys are well wherever you are and take care. God bless, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.